Hey, Lila. Okay, so we're talking about starting to free ourselves up a little bit and do a little beginning improvising here. We're kind of focusing on this shape. I was trying to think of tunes that we could use. And I thought of a good one because I was, it's like all these nursery rhymes and stuff are cool, but they're a little old. The Oh, and the Saints is great. The melody stays right in this range. So I think that would be a good one to get under your fingers here, and we can start talking about some of these improvisational kind of ideas around that. So for now, a cool way to do it would be just don't worry about chord changes at all. You'll hear it sound a little funky and you'll know when the chord's supposed to change. But just work on the melody and the thumb and stay right here in this C major scale. So if we just get the melody, C, E, F, G. Add the thumb. Not like that. So you gotta lift up that first finger. You grab the F. That would be a chord change, but let's just stay on the C. That would be a chord change, we'll just stay here. So it's just sounding out the melody and trying to keep your thumb even. I always want to go up the scale, but it does. The first move is a third. That's the chord change. Change there. So I don't know, you can do the chord changes if you want, but I would just think of it as a little melody that you can practice over this kind of C, sort of staying in the world of C. So that first little motif or part of the melody is C, E, F, G. Right? So in, traditional jazz improvisation or really any kind, one way we can think of it is just to start to mess around with the melody. So there's an obvious note. We're skipping the D, right? So a way that we talked about a little bit is to kind of surround chord tones. So this first little bit of the melody has a C, and then jumps to the E, F, and then G. So it hits all three chord tones in just that first part of the melody. So it's basically an arpeggio with one extra note. So this is kind of how I would analyze stuff. So one way that I might improvise on that is just play around with that idea of an arpeggio with one extra note. So maybe I go G, F, E, C. Sounds cool. That's some other tune. And then as far as a technical way you can do it is once you get the melody down, just work on getting your 5-note scale. So just from C to G, C, D, E, F, G, down. While you kind of hold this C shape and see if you can put it with the thumb. So you can just do different subdivisions. So it'd be like half notes or then quarter notes. Whoops. I've done this stuff for a while. Quarter notes, so that would be every thumb. Eighth notes. That was tough. So it's getting a little fluid with those different subdivisions. It's kind of a nice way to warm up in this way. And then get your melody and see if you can take that each little germ of the melody, and maybe instead of just playing C, E, F, G, we take that first chord tone and we kind of surround it with some scale tones. So maybe we go B, D, and land on the C. So the C is our target. Get our thumb going. We play B, D, C. And you can hear how the B and the D are kind of floaty, tense, and then we resolve when we hit the chord tone, right? We can try the same thing with the other chord tone, E. So it would be D, would be below it in the scale, F would be above it in the scale, and we resolve to the E. So we'd hit D, F, E. One more time, D, to do that on the G is a little bit tough because the above note, the A, is a little bit out of our reach. So maybe we just go F, G, F, G, and D, F, E. Now we'll do B, D, C. So it's a little bit different way to think about these 5 notes we're playing with. We're thinking about highlighting those chord tones and kind of surrounding them with the scale. Right, so you can really hear that note when you land on it. So just that, you can, spend the day on if you feel like it, playing different rhythms. Different variations. Kind of approaching this stuff with a real playful attitude's the way to go. So you just have an idea, try it out, and keep relating it back to the thumb and that general sound of C. And if you're kind of thinking of all these things could be ideas that you could start to use if you were playing over this. Right, so I just put in one of those things in between the melody, just surrounded that. Just being playful with it, but really thinking about those chord tones. So it's kind of, improvisation can be a little bit of a daunting thing for some people because it's such a big, I think we talked about this in lesson, it's such a big open-ended ideas. What do I play over something? And I think the best way to approach it is to make, give yourself limitations, give yourself little games to play. So you just say, I'm going to focus on this one chord tone and see what I like, what kind of music I can make out of that. So try playing the note above it, and then the note below it, the note below it, and then the note above it. You can use your brain, or you can just hear stuff. And then when you kind of get bored with that, move on to the other chord tone. Make things, then put them together. It's all good. As long as you like the sound of it, it's good. Was like me kind of singing the melody to myself and playing around it with just some of those. That note it's really helpful. So hopefully that gives you some stuff to we can start dipping our toe in this fingerstyle improvisation. So to keep it in order, what I would do is first just practice 5 notes of the major scale, C, D, E, F, G, up and down, then add the thumb, just to get the coordination down, and then try to surround each one of the chord tones with some scale notes, or just approach them. You can approach them any way. Think of the different ways you could approach them. From below, and see what that sounds like. But the idea of targeting the root, then targeting the third. So those are practices you can do. Then figure out your Oh and the Saints melody. Just keep everything right over this C chord, and then try to take some of those ideas and put them in between. One you could try, the first one that I came up with, just to get you going, is there's a natural gap in the melody there, sort of like a question and answer thing. Space, right? So in that space, I went 7, 2, root. So I just surrounded that root, because that's, the grounded note. So easy. Yeah, that's probably enough to work on until I see you. I'm not gonna write any of the stuff out, because our goal is to just get you listening, and so I don't want you to be looking at any music. No more reading. So yeah, I'll put this up on the website. Just let me know if you got questions, and we'll go from there. See you soon.